Susan, I would love you to introduce yourself to everybody. Tell us a little bit about who you are and some of the adventures that brought you here today.
Absolutely. I'm Susan Feldman. I was a co-founder of One Kings Lane, and I'm the founder of GetInTheGroove.com. And I guess the thing that really defines me today is I was a late in life entrepreneur. We moved to California in 2005. I was in my early 50s, and at 53 I decided to start One Kings Lane. So it took me a little while. I got a lot of experience behind, under my belt before I decided to do something, starting at 53, and haven't stopped yet, but 68 today. So.
That is very impressive.
Yeah.
Melanie and I would say we started later too. We started at 40, and I think Melanie was maybe 45. So totally get that second win, like you're like ready to do it. Yeah. The theme of the Denim campaign is, oh, the places you'll go. Right. So you know the Dr. Seuss book. Yes. As a child, what did you envision yourself being?
At one point I wanted to be a teacher, and that's where my focus was, and working with kids that had challenges. But I came from a retail family, and I guess it was just inevitable or in my genes that a lot of what I did sort of took me in that direction.
I know that your first big success was being a co-founder of One Kings Lane, and you really started it. I was looking at the dates. You started it in 2009 when really a lot of the world was falling apart. Like
it was.
It was.
Yeah.
So what was it about your vision that had you going for it regardless of what was happening around you?
It's funny. First of all, I thought about doing this for like a year. It took me, marinating, thinking about it. Did it still seem like a good idea? Did I, really want to do it? So by the time I finally said, okay, I'm gonna do it, or should I do it? Actually, I give Bob, my husband, a lot of credit, because I'm like, I just don't know. The world's, imploding. And he was great. He said, well, what's the worst thing that could happen? And I was like, I guess it won't work. And he's like, exactly. So I thought, well, why not?
What was your first pair of jeans?
Well, you probably never heard of these before, but there was a company, I remember as a teenager, they were called Landlubber, and they were like hip huggers. I feel like they were one of the first to do like bell bottoms,
What do you love about wearing a good pair of jeans?
The way I dress, jeans are I have a lot of jeans because I wear them everywhere, especially living in, California. It's funny, my wardrobe with denim started back when I lived in New York, because before we moved out here, I was working for Polo Jeans. And this is when people were wearing suits to the office, but we had to wear jeans to work. That was like part of the requirement, because you had to sort of look the part. And that was just a game changer for me. I mean, of course now everybody does, but to see how jeans, you can dress them up and dress them down, and they're just,
Full circle, you're back into fashion, but it's more than fashion.
Yeah.
What was your aha moment when you were really starting in the groove?
I was so busy during those 7 years that we were building that business that I finally started reconnecting with people and friends and colleagues. And a lot of women who were 50 plus, literally they all used the word either invisible or irrelevant. Somewhere in the conversation that word was used, and I was like, wow, what is going on here? Because I wasn't feeling that way at all, but clearly this was something very real. So I started thinking to myself, well, who's speaking to my demographic digitally? Like, where are people going? I mean, there kind of was AARP on one end, which, they do a great job. Doesn't resonate with me, didn't speak to me. And then, the other end, there were maybe bloggers, pretty fragmented kind of world. And there just wasn't anything that I felt was looking at, getting older in a really positive, fun way. And that was kind of my aha moment. Well, really the aha moment is that when I looked at the demographics and I saw this is a huge demographic. They have boatloads of money, own 70% of the wealth in this country, and they're super consumers. They shop 250% more than any other demographic out there. I was like, there's an opportunity.
You do focus on fashion, but you also focus on lifestyle, you focus on health.
Yeah, I would say it's mostly fashion and beauty, but we definitely do some health and wellness, which is primarily around menopause. We have a fun thing we call the menopause registry because, at every big moment in your life, you should have a registry, so why not for your menopause, when you go through menopause? So it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, of course. Our culture doesn't really look that well on, aging. I think, there's definitely a lot of us out there trying to change that conversation. And I think there's so much that's positive about especially when you get to the middle part of your life today. I mean, our lifespan's so much longer. You've done so much, you've learned so much, now you can take it and actually apply it. My approach is it doesn't need to be aligned specifically for women over 50. I don't know, I just feel like if it's specifically for that, it sort of makes you, in a weird way, feel not great about it either. Maybe your daughter shops at Madewell and you might not go there, but by the way, they have great stuff at affordable price, Like there's a leather jacket they have that we sell tons of, but you might be intimidated to go because initially when you look at it, you're like, oh, this is for young people, I would never wear. I think what you have to do is figure out what works for you. And you may not know, because one of the things I think that does happen to women, especially just using 50 as this moment, there's a massive amount of change that happens, particularly physically. So all of a sudden, your body, you might weigh the same, but your body, it just moves around. Your skin changes, your hair changes. So you probably do need to re-educate yourself to find some different products than you've been using, or different clothes, or maybe you just need to put things together a little bit differently. It doesn't mean that it has to be something for old people or people over 50, right? It's just you have to find what the products that you need for your skin and your hair, and how to dress maybe a little differently, put things proportionately or whatever.
What do you think is your best attribute that really has been the hallmark of your success in both businesses?
I think I'm pretty tenacious.
What 3 words define who you are today?
Today, let's see, curious, connector, energetic.
I know you love to travel.
I do love to
You are a huge traveler. What is your favorite travel accessory that you do not leave without?
Your wrap, something like that. That I feel like you have to take something like that because it's great when you're on the plane, it's great when you get to wherever you're going. It sort of will take you a million different places while you're traveling.
Favorite disruptor?
I don't know that I have a favorite, but I think somebody like Reese Witherspoon is just incredible. I mean, she's a force, unto herself, but the fact how she's just really put her focus on women, all kinds of women, and really, been really true to that. I think commitment, I think, is pretty spectacular.
Latest obsession?
Golf. You know that.
Books on your bedside table?
You'll laugh at this because it's golf. Okay, ready for this? Deepak Chopra wrote a book about golf.
Really?
It is fascinating.
I love all of his books. I had no idea he's gotten into golf.
Yeah, he's really into golf, and he wrote, because there's a whole mind thing about golf.
Well, thank you for having us at your home. Her home is stunning. I'm sure you have seen it over the years, but we are having a fun time.